Hello, everyone. Welcome to another coffee talk. I have a new cup. This one says progress over perfection on the inside. And it's right in a spot where I can see it as I sip from it. So that's a good reminder for me throughout the day that progress is more important than my perfectionistic tendencies, which really tend to get the best of me sometimes. So today I'm thinking about commencement and college culture and what it means to get a college degree. On Saturday, we had the commencement ceremony for the summer term, and I put on my regalia and I went. Now, faculty are not required to attend commencement, but I love to do it. I love to be there. I feel as a member of the university community, and especially as someone who's in a teaching and mentorship position, that I like to be there to bear witness to that transition, to bear witness to that accomplishment of our students, to take part in that community ritual on behalf of those of us who have helped nurture those students. And it's such a happy day. There's excitement in the air. Just the whole vibe of the ceremony is so wonderful. The parents and families are so happy for their students. Everybody is in a celebratory mood. It can be a bit bittersweet for some people, and there's just this heightened sense of importance to everything on that day. So I love being there and taking part in that. But it gets me to thinking about the whole culture of college and what college is for. I teach in communication. I teach, among other courses, a freshman level or entry level basic kind of communication course called interpersonal communication that a lot of students in the university are required to take. So I have students who are in other majors taking my course. And sometimes they don't understand why their department is requiring them to take the course. I'm not requiring them, my department's not requiring them, their department is requiring them to take the course. And if you look at college as vocational training and say, well, I'm studying to be an accountant or a nurse or an aviator, then it might be hard to understand why you're required to take a communication course or science course or any variety of requirements like that. But a university, think of the word universal. A university is meant to be a collection of colleges, a collection of disciplines, a broad variety of things that a student can learn about. And having a university education means that you've been exposed to this wider variety of ideas and that you have tools for thinking and for navigating the world that are broader than just the specific training for your own profession. That you have skills that you can utilize in a variety of different ways. And that, for example, of my own discipline, good communication skills are important for someone in the medical field. And if you've ever been treated medically by someone who did not have good communication skills, you know what I'm talking about. Those skills are important for someone who is in business, someone who is in aviation. Look at writing skills. Good writing skills are important across a wide variety of professions. It's not about being a writer, it's about being able to express yourself in writing effectively. I used to teach a course called Argumentation and Advocacy. And, it sounds like debate, but it was more of an exercise in learning to build a case for what you believe and express it to somebody else. Those kind of skills are important in any profession that a person might choose to go into. Now, many of us who are in academic culture know that the history of academic culture is rooted in the white male elite. And years ago, universities were the province of the white male elite. It was like a finishing school that young men would go to read great literature and philosophy and things like that before they entered their adult careers or vocations, whatever those might be. And there was an expectation that you were going to get a broad education, but it was expensive and it was exclusive. Now, over time, the college education has become a lot more democratized. It's available to a wider variety of people in a wider variety of demographics and socioeconomic classes and age groups. So that's a good thing. But I think there's a certain elitism about education that's gotten entrenched in the university community, that it's not trade school. You know, that trade school is something different. And if you want to learn a trade, you don't go to university to do that. You know, you would go to, say, a vocational school. So I think the culture is changing in universities. I think we're grappling with this question of how much of what a student learns in university should be vocationally based training to prepare them for taking part in the economic world versus, and I shouldn't say versus, but versus training in how to think and how to interact effectively with other people, right? And the reason I don't like the word versus there is that they're not mutually exclusive. I think both are necessary, but I think it's something that our culture is struggling with right now, especially as a university education has gotten more and more expensive for the student, because as the proportion that's being paid by the state is shrinking, the proportion of tuition that is being paid by the student is increasing. So if you look at the amount of money per student that the university allocates, it has stayed pretty flat over the years, but that proportion of how much does the state pay and how much does the student pay has shifted. So the student is paying more and more of it, but the total spent per student has been pretty flat. So a student feels like they're getting less for their money in many cases. And I'm not entirely sure that's true, but it's a perception that we have to struggle against. So what I would be interested in is to hear your thoughts on this question of, what are universities for? Are they professional training grounds? Are they meant to create better citizens and better thinkers? Or is it some combination of the two, which is what I believe? Now, when I was growing up, my parents raised my brother and me with the idea that we were going to college. We were not finished with a high school diploma. You weren't done until you got through 16th grade, because to them a college education was seen as something that was going to be a bit of insurance that you would be able to take part in the world at a more comfortable level economically than you would if you didn't have that credential. And I think it's still that to some degree, but people are concerned about getting their money's worth and using their resources effectively and using their time and money effectively, so that when they do graduate, they will have that added value to their lives by virtue of that diploma. And it's not just something abstract. It's a real credential that will be a gateway into a real life. I love my students. I love being a mentor. I believe in young people. I believe they're going to do magnificent things, and I hope they stand on my shoulders as they reach higher and higher. Bless you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.